both clubs will tell you that this is more or less a pre-season friendly of sorts, but behind closed doors, I'm fairly certain that both Waitakere United and Auckland City would love to win this one. The ASB Premiership's oldest rivalry. And of course, you can see there that the match officials and players all sporting a black armband. That is for former Waitakere United and Auckland City striker Kieran Jordan, who passed away just over 2 weeks ago after a long struggle with cancer. He was an Auckland City favourite, but he began his New Zealand football career with Waitakere before making the switch across town. He's fondly remembered for his exploits on the pitch, but it was off the pitch as well. There will be a minute's silence to remember Kieran Jordan as Chris Kerr, the match referee, and his match officials lead these two teams out. Led by two all-whites, Ivan Visilic and Jake Butler. Butler, of course, he came into the international scene in the New Zealand A match with Jordan, and he picked up caps against Saudi Arabia and Trinidad and Tobago. And of course, the all-whites' biggest test is yet to come against Mexico later this month. Referee Chris Kerr, Jan Hendrik Hintz, Mark Fisher and Nick Waldron, the other match officials. Well, the statistics are very much in favour of Auckland over the 42 matches. 19 wins for Auckland in all competitions, 12 for Waitakere United. There have been 11 draws. Let's take a look at the team lineups, beginning with Waitakere United. Some new names there. Jordan Loudon, Richard Cardozo. They've been recruited by Brian Shelley and Paul Temple. And it should be interesting to see how those new players get on. Of course, Cardozo has played for Waitakere previously, some 8 years ago. Time for a minute's silence for Kieran Jordan, who passed away on Monday, the 21st of October. Age 37 in Pretoria, South Africa. Let's take a look now at some of the memories that Kieran Jordan has left us with.
Number 1, Danny Robinson. 5, Brian Shelley. 6, Matthew Mee. 7, Jordan Loudon. 8,
Well, some stirring memories there that really get you right in the heart. If you ever had the privilege of knowing Kieran Jordan, you'll realise that that was a fitting testimony to him. Both teams in pre-match huddles, taking care of the final preparations ahead of Super City Derby number 43. Let's look at the Auckland City lineup. Mario Beelan sits in the middle of midfield. John Irving gets a start ahead of James Pritchett. And there's no place in the starting 11 for Ryan De Vries. He's kept out of the side by Koprasic, Tade, and of course Roy Krishna, the man who scored 19 goals in the ASB Premiership to guide Waitakere to the title. He's now in navy blue. What can Cardozo, Jordan and Sam French produce for Waitakere? What can Jake Butler produce for Waitakere now that he's firmly established in the all-white setup? A lot of people are predicting an Auckland victory, but I've seen so many of these derby games, it's impossible to write Waitakere off. A long ball knocked forward, Visilic marshalling it back to Tamati Williams. Williams, of course, is another who has made an international breakthrough of sorts. He was part of the all-white squad that travelled to Trinidad and Tobago. Didn't get onto the park. Difficult one for Iwata. Hoisted long from Belanga to Krishna. First touch of the ball for him against his old teammates. Given no space whatsoever. Belanga, now Iwata. Well, we can expect a typically patient build-up from Auckland City. There are no secrets about how they like to play. Here's Iwata, punching it through for Krishna. Shelley all over Krishna. He's kept it in. Ian Hogg heads it down only as far as Tade. Komprasic in the box. Matthews snapping away at the heels of Emiliano Tade. Krishna, he's past Butler, and he's earned a free kick. Well, Butler thought it was in his favour. It's gone against him. Tade standing over it. Here's another look. Well, Butler felt that maybe Krishna had wrapped an arm around him. In any case, it's an Auckland City free kick. Two men in the wall. Sam Matthews and Jordan Loudon. It's Tade. Hits it low. It's not a good effort from Tade. Sam French has managed to get that clear. Sorry, Jack Hobson-McVeigh. It's with John Irving, former Everton man. Into the corner. Not a bad ball. Tade loses out to Solomons. Nice build-up this from Waitakere. Oh, and it's a wonderful pass. Chance for Jordan Loudon early on. Oh, and he's put Waitakere one up. We've had 2 minutes, 15 seconds. And the holders take the lead with a superb goal. Auckland City were open right up, and the finish was calm, cool and collected. There's the ball from Jack Hobson-McVeigh. Loudon stayed on side. Irving couldn't catch him up. Williams came out, but the finish was too good. Advantage Waitakere, something for Auckland City to think about. Well, what a start to this match. Waitakere taking the lead inside the first 2.5 minutes. What have Auckland City got in return? That is the immediate question. Beelan. Bale plays Visilic. Goes long. Tade chasing down Brian Shelley. Back for Danny Robinson. Cushioned header from Visilic to Irving. Well, these Super City derbies always throw up a surprise or two. And that will do the confidence of Waitakere a world of good. An early goal. Beelan for Belanga. Iwata has space on the left. Chad Coombs tracks across to deal with him. Back inside for Beelan. Krishna up against Solomons, who deals with the former Waitakere United striker. Penarides with a run into the penalty area. Butler has conceded a corner. So a chance for Auckland City to strike back. Tare's on it. Visilic making his way forward. Belanga and Beelan, they'll all take up positions at the far post. Goes to the near. Koprasic, Tare, clipped in. Visilic, it's a good jump. There was nobody on the end of it. Sam Matthews tries to hoist it clear. Another corner for Auckland. Well, so much of the pre-match talk around the football community was that Auckland City were overwhelming favourites for this. Corner taken, and it was almost a free header. It looks as though it was Belanga or Bale who got on the end of it. In the end, nothing for Danny Robinson to worry about. Here's the delivery from Tare. Looks as though it was Chris Bale. Shelley. Cardozo. Solomons. Well, that's given away cheaply to Bale. Koprasic and Bale combining well. Krishna just ducking in behind Shelley. There's a chance for Krishna. There's a shot, and Tare's missed the target altogether. Has to do better than that. Emiliano Tare hoisted back by Krishna, and Tare just came in. Both players might have been in two minds here about who was going to take that on. In the end, it was Tare. Waitakere United 1, Auckland City 0. Jordan Loudon, the goal scorer. Here is Loudon. And that's straight to Koprasic. Irving. Visilic for Beelan. Irving just took his eye off the ball. He got a bit of a hurry on from Loudon. Thrown to be taken by Ian Hogg. Into the corner, headed away by Visilic, hoisted on by Irving, straight to Brian Shelley. Cardozo and Fenarides get into a tangle. It's Auckland City who come away with it. Ball straight over the top, intended for Tade. He's picked up by Shelley, and he clips it out. Beelan, Wata making space here on the left. Cardozo and Coombs tracking across. Solomons goes straight through the back of Roy Krishna, and that's going to be a yellow card. Well, a hefty challenge. Chris Kerr was on the spot. Little doubt that he was going to produce a card. We'll see why here. Yeah, no contact with the ball, and Krishna is flattened. Here's another look, Iwata's pass, and Solomons was never going to get to the ball. He made sure that Krishna didn't roll him and head off down that left-hand flank. So a free kick for Auckland City. Emiliano Tare is going to take it. A few illusions about where it's intended. It goes to the edge of the penalty area, headed away by Coombs, only as far as Chris Bale. Koprasic has Ian Hogg for company. Visilic has stayed forward. Throw to Waitakere. Alex Solomons, the player booked. He'll have to be careful. Alex Solomons from this point going forward. Belanga. Visilic. Well, speaking to Waitakere United's Chad Coombs prior to the game, Waitakere 1, Auckland 0, he said that he felt if Waitakere could survive the first 30 minutes of this game, that they might be able to kick on and create some sort of pressure. Pre-season has consisted of a lot of internal matches for Waitakere, and it was just a feeling that with Auckland City playing 8 matches in preparation, including one against the Phoenix, that they might have an edge here today. Waitakere have gone one better than that. They've taken the lead. 1-0 they lead. Jordan Loudon the scorer. So in that sense, Waitakere have exceeded their own expectations. Hog's throw, Loudon. Koprasic has intercepted that attack. Auckland City can break now. Fenarides will struggle to get there. Shelley's picked it up. Might look at staying forward, Brian Shelley. He has. Still going, Shelley. Oh, look at this. Is a chance. Good save by Tamati Williams. Well, Brian Shelley made that run all the way from halfway. He does like to rampage forward when he gets the opportunity. It was almost Brian Shelley's stock and trade. Look at this. Just goes by Belanga and Iwata. Just running out of space and forces Williams into a good save. Cardozo with a corner. Shelley is forward. Jake Butler is a potential target, so is Alex Solomons. Taken by Williams at the first ask. Belanga left Auckland City halfway through last season to play in the Indian Premier League for Sporting Club De Goa. And Beelan's given that away cheaply to Ian Hogg. Matthews, tough one for Hogg to deal with. Chris Bale still going. He's only got Krishna to hit. His cutback's not a good one. Good turn by Loudon. Irving is left behind, but Loudon just can't keep the ball in. Well, Loudon, like Sam French, has been playing in the Australian state leagues, and of course co-coach Brian Shelley spent part of his career playing in the state league in Australia, and I'm told that he's used those connections to help he and co-coach Paul Temple strengthen this Waitakere United side in the off-season. French and Loudon of Scottish extraction. There is, of course, Richie Cardozo, who played here 8 years ago for Waitakere. Header won by Irving. Well, there's a big gap in midfield. Hobson McVeigh. Cardozo lets it run on for Solomons. Coombs has made a run forward, but Solomons' ball is overhit and safely in the hands or at the feet of Tamati Williams. Williams. Target is Roy Krishna. Solomons right down the back of it and read that well and let it go out. Not too sure how Roy Krishna is going to fare against aerial delivery. He's being marked by a player the size of Alex Solomons. A chance for Solomons to demonstrate his aerial capacities. He's been nudged off the ball by Tade. Gets another crack at it. The header from Iwata. Butler helping it on. Belanga back to the goalkeeper. Loudon pressing Visilic. Bale playing his skipper back in. Koprasic. Irving. Played his winter football for Ngaruahia. One of 3 players from that club. Oh, that's a good ball. Robinson bravely out to the edge of the box. I think Krishna had a right to go for it. And Danny Robinson, as brave as ever, came out to claim it. There's the bounce. It's just within reach of Krishna. Robinson not afraid of a physical challenge. Roy Krishna, he can take them, but he is one of these aggressive strikers who does like to dish it out as well. Visilic. Matthews. Solomons. Iwata. Well, the free kick is awarded against Auckland, and referee Chris Kerr is going to have a word to Angel Belanga. Beelan was beaten, and I think that is for going over the top of the ball, don't you? Richie Cardozo, the victim. Just a chat required, no card produced. So Jack Thompson-McVeigh standing over the ball with Richie Cardozo. Auckland have a two-man wall. You can see the navy blue and white traffic at the far post runs perhaps being prepped for the penalty spot. Cardozo, oh, and it's not far away. Not far away at all. Here's another look at Cardozo. Tell you what, that really gave Tamati Williams something to consider. Cardozo is a former Australian under-17 international. When he last played in the ASB Premiership, he was but a teenager. Belanga can't win it. Coombs, well, this time it's a yellow card. I just wonder if Waitakere would have preferred to have seen advantage played. Chris Kerr might have actually done Auckland City a favour here. Look at this. Belanga didn't make contact or firm enough contact with the ball. Waitakere bench were up on their feet. They've got the free kick. Cardozo on the ball. Just Roy Krishna in front of him. Will he invite Tamati Williams to come off his line and try and claim this? Already seen evidence of a cultured left foot. He goes to ground. Away by Iwata. Hobson-McVeigh, first time pass to Coombs. And that's lofted into the penalty area for a goal kick by Chad Coombs. Made 111 ASB Premiership appearances for Auckland City, Chad Coombs, before making the move to Waitakere. Here's Shelley. Tade in pursuit. Robinson's clearance. Belanga. Bale. Irving getting forward here. Former Everton man. Looking to take on Hogg. Tackle from Hogg is effective enough. Kineen. Cardozo, lovely first touch from him. Coombs making a run into this corner. He's got Belanga, he's got Iwata after him. He's going to need help though from a white shirt. It arrives in the shape of Solomons. Coombs. Sam Matthews. Good start this from Waitakere. Any fears of ring rustiness can be dispensed with. So far so good for the Paul Temple, Brian Shelley coach side. They lead Auckland by a goal to nil. The goal scorer, Jordan Loudon. Irving wins a header. Bale plays it back for Irving again. Williams. Spots Iwata. Cardozo trying to work Williams on that right foot, gives him a hurry up. Kineen's header. Beelan can't win it. It's fallen to Loudon. That's a lovely piece of skill from him. Butler might fancy a shot from long range. It's now Coombs. He does. No power. That could have been difficult for Tamati Williams. The shot going through the legs of Takuya Iwata. So the ASB Premiership proper kicks off on Sunday, November 10. There are 3 matches. Waibop United at home to Canterbury United at Rotorua International Stadium. Southern United play host to Waitakere United, and Team Wellington hosting Auckland City. Meanwhile, in the ASB Charity Cup final, it's Waitakere United 1, Auckland City 0. In the 20th minute. And it's a bright start to the Paul Temple, Brian Shelley era here at Fred Taylor Park. Iwata surveys his options. Koprasic shows. It's gone to Fenarides. It's come off Solomons. Jan Hendrik Hintz agrees. Koprasic. Iwata. Tade. Koprasic. Oh, and it's a good ball. Tade, good save from Robinson. Shot perhaps needed a bit more power from Tade to really cause problems for the Waitakere keeper. Beelan. Auckland have numbers forward. Iwata. Tade. Chance for Iwata to cross. He's got 2 targets. It's a good ball in. Away by Ian Hogg. Fenarides was going for the volley, but Butler got involved. Loudon. Cardozo. Ian Hogg kept his run going. Goes through and wins the ball. Well, the willingness amongst the Waitakere players to try and get beyond the Auckland defence on the counter-attack, it's remarkable. Given the view that their pre-season, by comparison with some other clubs, was perhaps somewhat light, as we have another look at 2 former teammates involved in that flashpoint. There is a ball forward, looking for Irving. Well, there was nobody attacking the ball. Solomon's happy to hook it clear. Krishna. Tade. Butler picks up the pass intended for Koprasic. Ian Hogg. Had a spell of training with St Johnstone in Scotland, the club that features Rory Fallon in its ranks. Matthews. Shelley. Kineen. Butler. This is tidy stuff from Waitakere. Cardozo's come off his marker. Knocks it wide to Coombs. He's got Solomons on the overlap. And Roy Krishna does some much needed defending for Auckland City. Midway through the first half, Waitakere United 1, Auckland City 0 in the ASB Charity Cup final. This trophy formed part of a domestic treble of sorts for Waitakere. They, of course, won the ASB Premiership Grand Final, and they also finished top of the Minor Premiership. That's a good piece of play from Krishna. A series of mistakes here. Tade trying to find a way through. He can hit this. Good save by Robinson. The shot was straight at him, though. It wasn't the most thorough of examinations of the Waitakere keeper, but Auckland will be encouraged that they are creating chances. Here's another look at it. Hit at a good height for the keeper to take. Hogg's throw helped on by Loudon, away by Visilic. Headed back into the mix by Hogg. Well, I interviewed Auckland coach Ramon Trebulic, and his view was that perhaps we wouldn't see either of these two sides at their clinical best, given the timing of the game in this part of the season or in the pre-season. Coombs can't quite get the better of Takuya Iwata, and the decision goes Iwata's way. Berlanga. Krishna. Berlanga again. Visilic pulling wide on the right. Irving has pushed high up the pitch. He's on halfway. The right back. Fenarides. Now Chris Bale. Cardozo. Trying to put some pressure on these Auckland centre halves. Waitakere. Williams has gone long. Beelan trying to go into that pocket just in behind Alex Solomons, but Roy Krishna is not high enough up the park to collect it. It's now Coombs. He's looking for options, and there was no movement off the ball for him to offload. Coombs, that was a difficult one to take. Cardozo tried to skip past Iwata and Beelan. Well, Solomons has come to Waitakere after a spell with Team Wellington under coach Matt Calcott. Robinson straight down the throat of Krishna. Shelley trying to be a bit delicate with that ball into midfield. It's Bale who's picked it up. Krishna just didn't keep his run going. He was onside. Auckland at the moment just look out of sorts. Of course, a lot of the talk has been about Roy Krishna signing for Auckland, along with Ryan de Vries. And of course, with Alan Pearce's retirement, Waitakere have lost a formidable lineup. Here's a chance for Bale from long distance, not far away. Well struck. Bale can hit these, and he got this just about right. Look at that. Over the crossbar, but not by much. Yeah, so to return to the point about Pearce, de Vries and Krishna, Auckland City have also lost Manel Exposito and Gustavo Suto from last season's side. So there is some degree of readjustment required on the part of Auckland City as we see some tackles fly in. Jake Butler's brought down Mario Beelan. Here's another look at the Bale shot. Oof, not too far away. Well, Chris Kerr, so far so good from the match official's point of view. Nothing too controversial. There was the moment where Chad Coombs had broken into space and Kerr brought play back, but aside from that, he's handled the match reasonably well. Ball from Visilic intended for Bale. Oh, Tade's robbed Kaneen, and a chance for Krishna. Good save. Tade follows through. Auckland are level, 29 minutes. Emiliano Tade has levelled the scores. Here's the pass, and it just caught the Waitakere defence flat. The finish was saved by Robinson. He couldn't do much about the follow-up. And it's 1-1 in the Super City Derby ASB Charity Cup final. Emiliano Tade. So we're all square at Fred Taylor Park. More drama to come, perhaps. More than likely, we've seen the two previous ASB Charity Cup matches end in drama. Auckland won the first one 3-2. Last season, Waitakere came from behind to win it 2-1. Iwata. Krishna up against Solomons. He can't quite get past him, but somehow he has. That's a clever pass. Hogg's header away. Hobson McVeigh on the edge of the D. Hogg has manufactured a chipped clearance only as far as Belanga. Well, Fenarides is collated by Sam Matthews. And the temperature down there on the pitch is just starting to crank up. Here's another look at it. Well, too few complaints to be had there. You just simply cannot go through the back of a player. And even if you catch them side on, often that's enough for a referee to award a free kick. So Tade clipped in, and it's straight through the keeper. Disappointing free kick from an Auckland perspective. Waitakere will be relieved. Bale. Visilic. Well, it's all rather messy in there. Well, there have been 11 draws in 42 matches in all competitions between these two clubs. And in today's match, it's 45 minutes each way. If the scores are level at the end of 90, it will go straight to penalties. And from my memory banks, I can't recall a penalty shootout between the two Super City clubs. Oh, and Shelley, his first attempt at that clearance was shanked. It wasn't a great cross from Takuya Iwata. Tade with the corner. Koprasic at the near post. Belanga at the far. Coombs and Belanga getting tangled up. Visilic trying to head it back into the mix. Away by Shelley. Cardozo against Iwata. Iwata's going to have to get a hurry on here. Well, Cardozo goes into the back of Iwata. Chris Kerr invites the Auckland City left back to get up. I'm not so sure that he's going to be able to, you know. Cardozo offers a conciliatory word. And an opportunity for co-coach Paul Temple to have a word with his players from the technical area. From Triburic standing up at the edge of his technical area. Here's another look at it. Iwata makes contact with the ball there. Well, perhaps looked worse than it really was at the first sighter.
We recognise the great community support that we received from the Trust Community Foundation and Pegasus.
Waitakere United 1, Auckland City 1. Here's another look at the Auckland City goal. The moment was set up for Roy Krishna. Robinson denied him, but he couldn't stop Emiliano Tade from putting this one away. Tade intelligently going high to avoid the incoming Matt Kineen. Well, Emiliano Tade has been something of a cameo man for Auckland City. He has tended to come off the bench and be inserted into games where his prowess for goal scoring has sometimes turned a match in Auckland City's favour. He's starting the game today. Here's another look at Jordan Loudon's goal. Look at this. Wonderful finish from Waitakere United's new midfielder. To return to the point about Tade, he has spent most of his Auckland City career as an impact substitute. He's got the faith and support of his coach as a starter today, and he's made an impact. His goal scoring record, or goals to games ratio in the Premiership, is also an impressive statistic. 41 games, 20 goals. It's not a bad ratio for a player who has spent the vast majority of his career as an impact substitute. Here he is for Auckland again. Iwata clip forward, well away by Solomons. Of course, Tade began his ASB Premiership career with Team Wellington, as we have a look at Brian Shelley winning that ball. Butler pushing Beelan off the ball. Cardozo. Well, Richie Cardozo looks as though he's going to have a big impact on Waitakere United's fortunes this season. Very tidy on the ball. His one-touch play is superb to watch. And I've just cursed him there, the commentator's curse, of course. Hobson McVeigh can't get a hold of it. Caneen's played it wide to Hogg. Well, just a bit of scrappiness creeping into the match. Koprasic, Irving. Against Hogg. It's an interesting clash between those two players. Jordan Loudon. Still going Loudon. And he's clipped, and it's a free kick. There's no doubt about that. Even gets a bit of a word from referee Chris Kerr. Just cuts inside, trying to go between Koprasic and Irving, and it was Koprasic who was the offending party. Jack Hobson McVeigh standing over the free kick. Ivan Visilic marshalling his troops, trying to get them forward. That's straight into the hands of Williams. Sets a counter-attack in motion. Krishna. Oh, not a bad ball. That's a great ball, and well, he's offside. Tade didn't want to hear that. But the Waitakere United defence got that absolutely spot on. Here's another look at it, and yeah, that well, I wonder. Difficult to see on that angle, of course. It's not 100% in line with the assistant referee. Waitakere has not managed to keep that in. Waitakere United 1, Auckland City 1. Super City Derby number 43. Berlanga. Tade and Butler just getting entangled. Tade was somewhat upset about that. Play continues. Krishna making a run, and Iwata's spotted a gap here on the left. If Koprasic can find him, might be able to swing it across. He's cut it back to the edge of the box, straight to Jack Hobson McVeigh. Now Butler surveys his options, spots Coombs. Fenarides goes to ground. Somewhat unorthodox from Fenarides. Koprasic, Belanga, Chris Bale, Fenarides. Good movement this from Auckland. Now Ivan Visilic. Tade. Bale keeps the ball moving at pace. Belanga now roaming forward. Waitakere wide on the left. Well, this might be a stage of the first half that Waitakere find just a little bit difficult. It was what Chad Coombs hinted at to me before the match kicked off, that the first half hour would be crucial for Waitakere. What happened after that was maybe going to be physically somewhat more difficult than usual. Tade, that's not a bad cross. No takers. He hit that sweetly, Emiliano Tade. Only Fenarides had got forward. Robinson goes short. Koprasic pressing high. Jack Hobson-McVeigh, well played. Solomons, Hobson-McVeigh again. Fenarides. Beelan. First touch was a bit heavy. Belanga. Well, there's a late challenge. And Angel Belanga in a heap on the sideline. Looks as though he's going to be all right. Let's have another look. Well, maybe Butler was entitled to have a go at that. He did get the ball in part. Well, derby games always bring out the physical side of the two rival teams. Thankfully today, so far, there's been not too much untoward. Both sides have had good spells in possession. They've tried to use the ball thoughtfully. Well, I say that, and the ball is out on the full from the goalkeeper's kick. Solomons will restart with a throw, just on halfway. Caneen. Bashed into the corner. Coombs is going to give chase, and it's a full-on task that he's been set, and it's a goal kick. No, sorry, it's a corner. Well, must have taken a deflection on its way through. Cardozo and Coombs standing over it. Let's have a look and see what Waitakere can produce. It would be a nice time to score for the home side. We haven't seen anything hit to the near post yet. Let's have a look. This goes far. Something for Shelley to jump at. Caneen to jump at, sorry. And nothing comes of it for Waitakere United. Inside the final 2.5 minutes of the first half. It looks as though there'll be a minimum of 2 additional minutes to the first half of action. Nick Waldron is the 4th official today. You can see the board on the 4th official's table. Chance for Waitakere perhaps to finish the half the strongest of the two. Loudon's forward, Coombs is forward, so is Cardozo. Butler against Bale. Hogg. Oh, that's not a bad ball. It's whipped in, away by Belanga. Offside though. Jan Hundred on the technical dugout side has spotted that. Waitakere 1, Auckland City 1, all square in the ASB Charity Cup final. Jordan Loudon gave the home side the lead just 2 minutes and 15 seconds into proceedings. For Tade, Emiliano Tade levelled the match just on the half-hour mark. Belanga's header, won by Solomons. Coombs. Solomons keeps his run going. Fenarides. Iwata, well, that's a heavy one. It's overshot Krishna, and Brian Shelley had to tidy that one up for the West Aucklanders. Of course, Waitakere United, it might be premature to talk about this sort of thing. Of course, they won the ASB Premiership for the 4th consecutive season. Here's Hobson McVeigh trying to find Loudon again. This time Auckland were wise to Jordan Loudon's talents, and they closed him down. Of course, in recent times, no club has been able to achieve what Waitakere have achieved in domestic football with the 4 in a row record they have. We would have to look back into the pre-ASB Premiership days to see if there's any side that has won 5, as we see Krishna trying to play Tade in. Away by Matt Kineen. Waitakere City in the 1990s under Keith Pritchett had an era of sustained success. Krishna with Koprasic, back with Krishna. Oh, he's taken out Tade, flag's gone up. Yellow card for Sam Matthews. And we are now into the additional 2 minutes. The 45 minutes is up. This might be in striking range of Alex Fenarides. He's a player with a considerable track record from dead ball play, and look at that. Welcome home, Roy Krishna. Well, it's going to be Chris Bailey stands over it. It could be worth a hit. We've seen a couple lofted in by Tade. What will Bale do? Here's a long-range strike, but it's woefully wide. And referee Chris Kerr brings the first half to a close. Scores a level. Waitakere United 1, Auckland City 1. And a somewhat scrappy first half by usual Super City standards. Waitakere 1, Auckland City 1. Welcome back to Fred Taylor Park. It's half-time in the ASB Charity Cup final. It's Waitakere United 1, Auckland City 1, and a fascinating second half before us. I raised earlier in the commentary that in the previous 42 matches between these two sides, it's never gone to penalties. I'm fairly certain that's correct. But today, I tell you, I just have a feeling that unless Waitakere can deal with the final 20 minutes, that could be crucial here today. And whether or not Auckland can put to good use their extensive pre-season preparations. They played 8 games during that period. They had wins over Bar 4-3. They defeated the Wellington Phoenix at Kiwatea Street 1-0. So this is their 9th pre-season game. Waitakere, by contrast, have played a handful of internal games and 1 or 2 friendly matches, but it's been a schedule that Brian Shelley told me was geared very much toward peaking at the right time. And if you talk to Brian, he's very keen to emphasise that the trophies aren't handed out in November. That comes in March and May. Of course, the OFC Champions League group stage is scheduled for April. That will be in Fiji. 12 clubs will be involved in 3 groups of 4 teams. Waitakere is one of those. Auckland City is the other, the 2 New Zealand representatives. We're back underway here in the Charity Cup final. I can't spot any substitutions for either side at the break. It's very much as we were. Solomons. Cut out by Iwata. Krishna inside for Beelan. Visilic. Bale. John Irving. Irving not the first Ngaruawahia player to pull on a navy blue kit. That honour belongs to Matt Williams, as we see Matt Caneen getting a tangle with Tade. No free kick given. Play continues. Caneen still going. Straight to Bale. Now Tade in space. He's got Krishna at the far post. Goes to the far post, and Solomons with some good defending. He could so easily have turned that into the back of his own net, Alex Solomons. It's the worst type of ball for a defender to deal with. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. Here's another look at it. If he leaves it, Krishna scores. If he doesn't, in any case, he dealt with it capably, Alex Solomons. Robinson with the goal kick. First goalkeeper to make it past the 100 game mark in modern times in the ASB Premiership, Danny Robinson. The bulk of those with Waitakere. Oh, that's a good ball. Tade. Brian Shelley got a foot on it. Just took the sting and the impetus out of the Auckland City attack. Fenarides. Iwata leaves the ball behind. Solomon's happy to wrap things up there. Beelan. Iwata. And not a good touch from Takuya Iwata. Mario Beelan. An ex-professional in Croatia and Albania. I believe he also had some club football in Bosnia. Played at centre half for Auckland when Angel Belanga transferred to Sporting Club Tagoa. He's now finding himself in the position most notably held by Albert Riera, as we see Ian Hogg with a long ball forward for Cardozo. Visilic calling for a handball. Chris Kerr agrees. Irving. Attempted long ball for Bale is deflected off Jordan Loudon. Belanga. Irving. Ball pumped long. Caneen drops it into the path of Koprasic. Here's Tade, the Auckland goal scorer. Butler picking it up. Hogg launching it forward. Visilic. Well played, Chris Bale. Belanga gets this Auckland attack moving down the left. Tade has peeled away to the far post. Here is Tade. First touch wasn't good. And the cross goes into Caneen. Oh, and it's off the line. Wonderful defending. The shot from Koprasic, he feels he should have scored. Here's another look at it. Caneen, well, he did get the ball. Koprasic then lines this up, and look at the defending. The player coach, Brian Shelley, to the rescue for Waitakere just when they needed it.
It's already in D1.
And again, Brian Shelley, only as far as Visilic. Krishna with a first-time strike. It's high over the top of the crossbar. Brian Shelley with some absolute heroics on the goal line for Waitakere. Talk about on-field leadership and inspirational defending. And it was epitomised there by Brian Shelley. He could be called into action again very soon. Koprasic is bursting forward. Krishna can't get the cross, and that's a good piece of defensive play by Alex Solomons. That's not so sharp. Fenarides keeps it going. Now Krishna. Tade, good ball by Tade. Well, he's... it's ended up in the back of Waitakere's net. Auckland take the lead. 51 minutes. There were appeals for a penalty. They were turned down, and as play continued, Waitakere were static. Let's look at it again. Nice pass from Tade. Krishna goes down. That's where the penalty appeal came. Fenarides kept going. Koprasic was unmarked, and he just side-footed into an empty net. 2-1 for Auckland City. Could this be the turning point in this cup game? Just moments after Brian Shelley rescued his side with an excellent goal line clearance. And they've been hit with a sucker punch. Waitakere 1, Auckland City 2. Koprasic wasn't to be denied in the end. Berlanga. Bale. Irving back to his skipper Veselic. Well, it was Auckland City who were punished last season, taking the lead in the ASP Charity Cup before losing 2-1. It's still too early to talk about that sort of scenario. There's plenty of time for Waitakere to retrieve this situation. Solomons. Well, Waitakere need somebody to stand up here and rally the troops. Loudon plays it wide. Interesting ball from Butler. Can't quite connect with Chad Coombs. Irving. Chris Bale. Ivan Veselic. Oh, chance. Krishna. He's round Robinson. 3-1. 2 goals in the space of 3.5 minutes. Krishna on his old stomping ground in Auckland City colours makes it 3-1 to Auckland. Tidy finish. He drew Danny Robinson and he didn't blast it into the net. The celebration is understated, but Krishna has come home and scored a goal for his new club against his old. And Waitakere United's task just got harder. Solomons plays it long. Well, we always thought that this match could get tough, or tougher for Waitakere the longer it went, and we're just seeing evidence of that now. Chance for Auckland on the breakthrough, Chris Bale. Koprasic, one of the goal scorers. Mario Beelan. Well, the pace of the match has just slowed. Auckland City don't need to push their level of intensity. Here's Irving. 2-goal cushion on a ground where they've lost their previous 2 cup finals. Koprasic. Iwata plays it short for Beelan. Now Roy Krishna holds off Solomons. Beelan's header. Iwata trying to force it forward. More in hope than expectation. Free kick goes Waitakere's way. Well, surveying the Waitakere United bench, there isn't too much in the way of cutting edge in an attacking sense. Tristan Prattley, Dan Morgan, Dylan Stansfield amongst those numbers. Jack Corns there. Sean Dowling, of course, is a goalkeeper. I don't think he'll mind me putting him in the veteran status. Beelan rolls this ball back to Belanga. Chad Coombs, ever the fighter, shuts down Belanga. Waitakere United 1, Auckland City 3. ASB Charity Cup. Is this trophy about to switch sides of the city here in Auckland, across the Super City divide. It's been in Waitakere United's grip for 12 months. Williams bails under it. Well, Ryan De Vries is being summoned by Ramon Trebulic. So is Darren White. This could be a sign here that Ryan De Vries is preparing for action. Visilic away from Hogg. Still going. Chooses to go long. Right down the throat of Brian Shelley. Here's Butler. Shelley White to Solomons. In an advanced position down this right flank. Coombs checks his run back inside. Solomons still going. Well, free kick awarded. Coombs the offender, Bale the victim in that scenario. We're into the 60th minute, 1 hour at Fred Taylor Park. Waitakere 1, Auckland 3. Goal scorer is Jordan Loudon for Waitakere after just 2 minutes 15 seconds. Emiliano Tade levelled the score on the half-hour mark before Daniel Koprasic put Auckland into the lead on 51 minutes, and then Roy Krishna just 2 minutes later made it 3-1. Koprasic can't keep the ball for Auckland. It's Cardozo, well read by the Auckland skipper. Fenarides, chance for Auckland to break. Krishna against Solomons, decides it's a foot race. Still going Krishna. Solomons showing all the pace he can. It's gone to the near post. Robinson's picked it up. Hogg looking for options. Here's Loudon. Hobson McVeigh. Matthews. Matt Kineen. Solomons for Butler. Well, I can tell you it's the temperature here is in the early to mid-20s. And it's pretty hard work down on that pitch. Just under half an hour left in this one. Butler. Coombs through the legs of Belanga, but Auckland have picked this up. This game's starting to get stretched. Krishna, Koprasic. It's almost at walking pace in some phases of play. Belanga. Tade. Hustled off the ball. Tade's taken Hobson McVeigh out. Play continues. That's a good pass from Butler. Chance for Cardozo. Well, he's looking for a penalty. Coombs is screaming at referee Chris Kerr. It's a forlorn ask. Belanga. Iwata. Cardozo goes hunting for the ball. Iwata goes long. Searching for Fenarides. There was an arm in the back of Solomons, but play will be hauled back into the Auckland City half. It looks as though Iwata... Look at this. Well, Belanga's knee's gone into the back of Cardozo's head there in the second phase of that action. Well, there is a double substitution coming up for Auckland City. Ryan De Vries is about to be introduced for Auckland, his competitive debut. Darren White is also coming in. So it's Tade off, De Vries in, and Daniel Koprasic is off, and Darren White will come on. Waitakere United are making a change as well. Sansun Limwatana is replacing Jack Hobson McVeigh for the home side. Got amongst the goals in pre-season, Sansun Limwatana. He was on target against Bar for Waitakere, and he also managed to get on the score sheet against New Zealand under-17s in a friendly match. I think that was played at Bill McKinley Park just prior to the FIFA Under-17 World Cup in UAE. Of course, the under-17s, I think they defeated Waitakere in that friendly match 2-1, and then they got a very creditable 1-1 draw at Kiwatea Street. And of course, whoa, and Robinson with a clearance. It's a shaky one. Auckland still on the attack. Krishna trying to set up Darren White, who thought about having a proper go at it. Ian Hogg just managed to dash in and get a foot on it. It's played back in to Shelley. Now Matthews for Kineen. Long ball forward. Limwatana's header. Straight to Beelan. Auckland starting to really hit their straps here. Iwata. That's not a bad cross. Oh, and Roy Krishna at the far post. Just couldn't get purchase on it. I think Danny Robinson will be relieved by that. Coombs with the outside of the right foot. It's cut out by Auckland. Iwata. Belanga. Ivan Visilic back to the goalkeeper. Here's Darren White on the counter-attack, and Matt Kineen concedes a corner. Here's another look at this opportunity for Roy Krishna. He's got a habit of scoring goals out of virtually nothing. That was definitely a scenario of that nature for Krishna. He didn't make a clean connection. So Fenerides with the corner. Whipped in. Bale tries to wrap a foot around it. Hogg leaned into it to head it clear. Bale just checked himself. Beelan. Iwata. Berlanga. Well, the visitors have control of this one at present. Waitakere 1, Auckland City 3. Beelan. Switching it left to Taku Iwata. Oh, and a chance now to get forward for Ryan de Vries. Well, goal kick. Well, you can't help but wonder what sort of mixed emotions Roy Krishna and Ryan de Vries are going through. They were two key elements in Waitakere United's sustained success over the last 4 or 5 years. Berlanga wins the header off Cardozo. Bale for Irving. White. Well, there have been a number of other pre-season matches played this weekend. Canterbury United have beaten Southern United 5-1. That was on Saturday in Timaru. And Team Wellington defeated Hawke's Bay United 4-2 at Blue Water Stadium in Napier. Also yesterday. And Wanderers SC took on Waibop United at North Harbour Stadium today, earlier this afternoon. And Wanderers won that game 2-1. So all ASB Premiership teams were in action today, as we see Robinson's clearance only go as far as Bale. A chance for White. There's the cross. Oh, and de Vries has fluffed his lines. It was a great ball by Darren White, and de Vries probably had just a little bit too much time to think about it. You can see there, White picks out his target. And de Vries, you can see the exasperation on in the body language of Chris Bale in that shot. Krishna chesting it down, but only as far as Ian Hogg. Here's Shelley. Shelley again. Looking to hit Cardozo. Ball lofted in, won by Irving. Darren White. Straight to Butler. Matthews. Butler. Now Caneen. Back to Robinson. Launched forward and out for a throw. Well, the workload just looking as though it's taking its toll on Waitakere. Not unexpectedly, it must be said. Oh, and Krishna, well, the second touch was just a little bit too heavy. Hogan Shelley dealt with it. Here's Darren White. Irving. He's got Bale ahead of him. And White's on the right flank. Goes inside to Beelan. Visilic. Irving. Visilic again. Now Bale. Lovely switch of play by him to de Vries, who's going to take on Solomons. Checks on the right foot. It deflects off Alex Solomons. Pressure still on Waitakere. Auckland turning the screws. Fenerides might fancy one from distance. And saved by Danny Robinson. Just under 20 minutes left here in the ASB Charity Cup. More activity down on the Auckland City bench. It could be David Brown, who will be next to be called into action. Indeed it is. Cardozo. Irving for Beelan, hoisted forward. This should be meat and drink for Canine. Only as far as Fenarides. Trying to launch De Vries away. Solomons takes a tumble, and it was De Vries who clipped the heels of Alex Solomons. Looked like an awkward fall. He's in some level of discomfort. Let's look at it again. Yeah, it was just a trailing leg that was caught by De Vries. Those are the types of falls that footballers dislike the most. Ankles are always of the utmost concern. Nothing malicious in it. Well, substitution for Auckland City. It's Roy Krishna who's coming off. David Brown coming on. And a victorious return to Fred Taylor Park for Roy Krishna, by the look of it. And it's going to take a Herculean effort from Waitakere to haul themselves back into this game. Tristan Prattley is being prepared for action for the home side. Former Otago United player Tristan Prattley came to Fred Taylor Park midway through last season. Very tidy left-footed player, Tristan Prattley. It's going to be an area of the pitch where Waitakere have plenty of options and lots of strength with Ian Hogg there also. Matthews taken on the chest. Butler can't hold on to it. Belanga sets Fenarides away. De Vries making a break on the left. Now Beelan staying high up the park for Auckland. Nice turn by him. First touch of the ball for David Brown. He's got some wonderful skills, David Brown. Still going against Jake Butler, and he's earned a corner for Auckland. Well, he's a highly rated young talent, David Brown. I do know that there are a number of folks at Kiwitea Street who rate him very highly. He has had his injury problems, and they're currently being managed as we see Alex Solomons withdrawn and Tristan Prattley introduced for Waitakere. Very different set of circumstances for Prattley. He was the player who fired in the cross that Roy Krishna bundled over the line to send the ASB Premiership Grand Final to extra time. Finds himself and his team trailing in this one by 3-1. Here's Belanga against Coombs. Trying to get the better of Coombs. And Hogg joins in. Throw goes Auckland's way. Well, there was a lot of pre-season talk linking Chad Coombs with Waibop United. It is very much in the Chad Coombs story, the Waikato. He has played club football down there in his younger years. I dare say that option may have involved a lot of travel for him. He's made the decision to stay with Waitakere, and they'll be grateful for that. He's a solid competitor, Chad Coombs, and he's quite capable of turning a game when he's in the mood. Waitakere need him here, as we see Visilic with the long ball. I think that was Chris Bale he was aiming for. Here's Coombs, laid off to Hogg. Hogg goes long. Jordan Loudon chasing down Belanga. Still going, Loudon. Belanga manages to somehow get his wiry frame in between Loudon and the ball. Just under a quarter of an hour left at Fred Taylor Park. Waitakere 1, Auckland 3. Waitakere needs a break. They need someone to come up with something very shortly. If they manage to get the next goal, it would certainly ask a few questions of Auckland City. They've given this one away. Bale trying to get away from Coombs and Hogg. And Coombs goes into the book. Yeah, Bale was a good 1 or 2 yards away, and if you try to make a tackle there, it's inevitably going to wind up as a yellow card. The laws of the game are fairly explicit on that. Visilic. Tamati Williams hasn't really been tested in the second half. Irving with a throw. David Brown. Well, Brown has got a lucky turn of the ball. What will he do? Brown still going. Well, bundled down by Ian Hogg, and Danny Robinson picked up the bits. Waitakere trying to counter-attack. Prattley. Jake Butler making a lung-bursting run forward to join the front line. Coombs. Prattley. Butler. Waitakere just unable to find a penetrating ball into the top third. That's where they need to be. Bale. Irving. Visilic lets it trundle all the way back to Williams. He's launched it forward. Hogg, cushioned header, only as far as Bale. Berlanga. Well, there's some very tired legs out there for Waitakere. Here's another look at this effort by David Brown. It was a sure risk by Ian Hogg to go for that. It wasn't quite from behind, it was more side on. And that always presents a problem for a player if a referee is on the opposite side. Darren White still going. Brown tried to get out of the way of Darren White's run and ran into the giant figure of Matt Kineen. Auckland have picked up the pieces. Iwata. De Vries. Iwata. Belanga. Irving. Now Visilic. Bale. That was a tight one. Cardozo got a foot on it. It's only gone as far as Darren White, who's played the ball through for Irving. Well played by Matt Kineen. Mortana lays it off for Butler. Looking for options, there aren't too many. Kineen. Ian Hogg. Limotana tries to evade 2 challenges, one from Bale, one from White. Double substitution coming up for Waitakere United. Jordan Loudon comes off and is replaced by Dan Morgan. Dylan Stansfield is about to be injected into proceedings. And it's Richie Cardozo who makes way. So a tough first shift, a tough return for Richie Cardozo for Waitakere. But we saw plenty to suggest that Cardozo is going to be a key figure for Waitakere this season. More changes coming up. Fenarides is on. Fenarides is off, replaced by Sam Burfoot. And Takuya Iwata is replaced by Andrew Milne.
There's another sub.
Just a testimony to the depth at the disposal of Ramon Trebulic. Of course, Adam Dickinson is out injured for this one. He was the top goal scorer for Auckland in the OFC Champions League last season, as we see Dan Morgan try to link with Dylan Stansfield. And also, of course, round one of the ASB Premiership kicks off next Sunday. There are 3 matches scheduled. Waibop United take on Canterbury United at Rotorua International Stadium. That is scheduled for a 1 p.m. kickoff. Meanwhile, in Dunedin, Southern United take on Waitakere United at Forsyth Bar Stadium. Also a 1 p.m. kickoff time. And Team Wellington play host to Auckland City at David Farrington Park in Miramar. While Hawke's Bay United and Wanderers SC are not involved. Wanderers SC's first game in the ASB Premiership is against Canterbury United on November 16, while Hawke's Bay take on Southern United at Blue Water Stadium in Napier on the same day. That's a 5 p.m. kickoff in Napier. 2 p.m. kickoff for the Wanderers against Canterbury United. The 10th season of the ASB Premiership getting underway next weekend, round one. As we see Tamati Williams receiving treatment. Not a good sign for Auckland. It's perhaps also time to mention the ASB Premiership Team of the Decade. There is a pool of journalists that has been assembled who will consider who they deem to be their ASB Premiership Team of the Decade. A list has been compiled, a short list of nominees. There are some outstanding names on that list, by the way. Not least that of Kieran Jordan, Alan Pearce, Grant Young, Benjamin Tatori, Roy Krishna, and 1 or 2 names who people may recall, like Blair Schooler, who made his name with Otago and Canterbury. As we have a look at the second goal, Fenarides did well to keep his concentration. They were looking for a penalty. Waitakere just switched off, and Daniel Koprasic kept his head and tucked the ball into the back of the net. And then Roy Krishna, just moments later, went round former teammate Danny Robinson before finishing that effort. 3-1 to Auckland. That's how it remains. Here's Darren White. Cut out by Ian Hogg. White gets a second go at it. David Brown, Irving. John Irving looking to get himself in a position to cross. Wasn't quite there, was it, for Irving to try and wind across in. Time running out for Waitakere. They need to get the ball forward, and they need to do it quickly. Hogg, long ball, intended for Stansfield. Easy header for Visilic. Irving tries to keep it in, does so. It's only as far as Limwatana. Hogg. Limwatana. Matthews trying to fend off Beelan. Brown, nice control from him. Well, brought down by Hogg. Free kick given. Well, going up against Ian Hogg's like going up against a bear trap. The second you take an extra touch, he's all over you, and you're not going to get away from him so easily. Very physical. Free kick's taken quickly. Beelan fancies a shot. Good effort. Oh, Robinson can't hold it. Brown can't get it on target. anxious moments for Waitakere. Morgan only as far as Matthews. Butler battling away for Waitakere. Now Darren White might fancy a shot. Off target. You really have to test the keeper if you're going to go all that way. Phelan had the first shot. It was hit pretty hard. Robinson couldn't get a good grip on it. Berlanga was lurking. Brown didn't quite connect either. And it was off the line by Tristan Prattley. Time ticking away for Waitakere. They need to force the issue. They need to get the ball forward. And they need to get numbers in the box. And over and beyond all that, they need a goal. But the question is, where is it going to come from? Andrew Milne. Still going Milne. Taken out by Prattley. Chris Bale opens play up through Visilic. Irving. Limwatana goes to shut him down. Now White against Hogg. Visilic looking for David Brown. That's not a bad ball. Brown's in the box. White trying to find a way through. He's got a corner. Just under 3 minutes of regulation time remaining. Waitakere United 1, Auckland City 3. Bale's going to take this corner. Visilic is in the box. Here is Visilic, lets it go as far as Milne. Straight into a defender. Limwatana. Oh, well, he's lost out here, Limwatana. This could prove costly. Good save by Robinson, only as far as Milne. Number 4. In the 88th minute, the substitute, Andrew Milne with the left foot finish. That is the icing on the cake, one would imagine, for Auckland City. Let's have a look at this. Limwatana, just a naive piece of defending. Great save at the near post by Danny Robinson, but it only went as far as Milne. And the next stop for the ball was in the back of the Waitakere net. Waitakere 1, Auckland 4. And this looks very much like a lost cause now for the home side. The holders about to give up their trophy. And really it's all come down to the second half. Auckland have just looked a little bit fresher, a little bit sharper when it mattered most. You have to say, for a Super City derby, it's been somewhat comfortable in the second half for Ramon Trebulic's team. They weren't saying that just 2 minutes and 15 seconds into it when Jordan Loudon scored, and what a goal that was. Dan Morgan played into space for Ian Hogg. Maybe there's some consolation left here for Waitakere. Limwatana. Morgan keeps going. Limwatana looking to get this. That's a good ball. And it's just out of reach of Dylan Stansfield. Well, that's as close as Waitakere have come in the second half to putting Auckland City under pressure with balls into the box. Nick Waldron, the fourth official, about to indicate how much additional time we're to see here at Fred Taylor Park this afternoon. Not so sure there'll be too much of it, to be fair. This match has flowed. Here's Matthews. Limwatana, back to Matthews. Coombs. This looks more like it from Waitakere. There's a foul given away by Sam Burfoot on Jake Butler. And time for a substitution. Jack Caunter is coming on and Matt Kineen is coming off. Tough shift for Matt Kineen. But maybe an opportunity for the home side to finish on a relative high and reduce this deficit if they can. Coombs is on it. Butler's forward. Jack Caunter's forward. Dylan Stansfield will be a target. It's not a bad ball in. Burfoot. Well spotted on the right here. Now David Brown can go at Sam Matthews. Hoggs missed him. And the ball breaks as far as Burfoot. Clipped by Matthews. Play continues. Brown, past Limwatana. Chooses to offload it. Irving, Burfoot. Here's Visilic. Chris Kerr's checking his watch. Whistle is in his mouth. Here's Belanga. Just seconds away now. Andrew Milne. David Brown keeps that going. He can't connect his pass to Andrew Milne. Brian Shelley's tidied that up. Here's Jack Caunter. Oh, caught on the ball. Caunter almost. Limwatana. Beelan. Well, the biggest margin of defeat in a Super City derby is 5-1. That was an Auckland City victory over Waitakere some 8 years ago. And in recent memory, I would have to say this could quite possibly be one of the bigger margins of victory in this derby match that we've seen at least in the last 4 to 5 years. Here's Darren White. Irving. Beelan, still with Irving. Sam Burfoot. Bale. Well, looked as though he was tackled by Mario Beelan, and they have a word to each other. Ryan De Vries. De Vries for Brown. Goes on a run. Leaves the ball behind. Well, the final moments of this one playing out. It's a chance for Waitakere maybe to finish with a goal. Stansfield against Belanga. Still going, Stansfield. He only had one target in the Auckland penalty area. It was Sansun Limwatana. And he couldn't find him. Butler's throw. Switch of play from Prattley. As far as Ian Hogg, but Chris Kerr blows the whistle, and it's all over here at Fred Taylor Park in the ASB Charity Cup. It's finished Waitakere United 1, Auckland City 4. And one of the most convincing Auckland City derby performances that I've witnessed in recent times. Waitakere began brightly enough, but in the second half, it belonged to the Navy Blues. They were just too fit, it looked like, and perhaps a game that's happened for Waitakere just a little bit too soon in terms of their overall preparations for the 2013-14 ASB Premiership season. Let's take a look back at the highlights of the second half. This chance for Auckland City fell to Koprasic and Brian Shelley off the line. Kineen did well. He managed to get something on it, and then Koprasic tried to curl one into the top corner, but good thinking by Brian Shelley. He managed to get himself right in front of that shot and keep it out. There was very little he could do about the next phase of play. Everybody seemed to stop, appealing for a penalty. Fenarides continued. Koprasic, unmarked, could just side-foot it into an empty net. You have a look here, you can see the body language of the Waitakere defenders. They had switched off just for a moment. And that was all that Kopricic needed to give Auckland City the goals that they so desperately craved. Happiness all round for Ramon Tribulic's team, and there was more to be happy about 2 minutes later. Visilic played this ball through, and look at that, it was just a straight ball. Krishna round Danny Robinson and then slotted it into the back of the net against an ex-teammate he knows so well, Roy Krishna. Very understated celebration, as you'd expect by a player who made his name in New Zealand club football on this very pitch. 4 minutes to go. And this shot from Mario Beelan, look at that. The power was too much for Danny Robinson. He did enough to keep it out. The ball dipping and swerving. The keeper then trying to get himself in front of David Brown's effort, but it was off target. Well, this put the icing on the cake for Auckland City. Limwatana had given the ball up. Balanga hit it to the near post. Danny Robinson with a fine save, but he couldn't do anything about the follow-up by Andrew Milne. Emphatic finish, an emphatic result. And Auckland have won the ASB Charity Cup for 2013. As we prepare for the trophy presentation. Well, we can join Paul Temple and
I'm with Paul. Paul, what do you think about this first match?
Oh, it was tough for us in the second half, you know. I think you saw that Auckland had probably a bit of preparation going into the season. We've only really been together with our full squad for a week or so. So it's pretty early days for us, so there's lots to look forward to. And you just saw, I think, in the second half that Auckland had a little bit of more of a preparation as a group, and that showed. You know, they kept the ball well in the second half off us, and we're just chasing them around a little bit. But it was good, you know. We saw enough in our team to warrant some positive things moving forward, and you know the trophies are handed out later on in the season, the important ones. So we'll just keep focused on that.
You start really well, huh? You scored the first goal.
Yeah, the first goal was great, and it was nice, little bit of combination play, and there was flashes of that, you know. So there is things to be encouraging and to be positive about. And as I say, we'll just keep trying to harness that and focus on that in training. And the more time we have together, the better we'll be.
Last question: the Premiership starts next week. It's going to be a tough championship, huh?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I think it's going to be a good league this year. I think the Hawke's Bay did great getting to the playoffs last year, and then you've got Canterbury, a strong team. Wellington have recruited really well. Waikato have recruited really well. So I think it'll be a really tough competition, which is what we all want, and hopefully everyone will get behind the competition and support it, and it should be a good league this year.
Thank you, Paul. Wish you the best. Back to you, Gordon.
so a philosophical Paul Temple, co-coach of Waitakere United alongside Brian Shelley. But the moment belongs to Auckland City. They've won the ASB Charity Cup, and they've won it in some degree of style.